Hey everyone, rather Incoherent here. We're picking up with Rome Total War Remastered, turn 16 of the Germania Campaign, and the turn's mostly played out. We just need to conquer Britannia's only city on the mainland, and push this stack away from our own city. When looking at the fight, you can see that I have all my cavalry basically in one army and all my infantry in the other, so I'll need to join them up. The enemy, meanwhile, just has 6 spear warbands and 2 light chariots, so it seems relatively easy to wipe them out once we actually get our armies together. I've got an equivalently large line of warbands, but they have phalanxes instead of normal spears, and I have massive cavalry superiority even if they have chariots. The start of this battle is fairly simple. I just wait for the rest of my units to get onto the battlefield and join up with me. And as I'm the attacker, the enemy AI has been basically totally disinterested in doing any offensive movement. They're just standing across the field from me, which is great because it means I can start repositioning my cavalry. I want to have them lined up here to charge and moving around the flank to intercept when they try to rout away from me, because this is an archer unit, it won't just choose to fight me. Also, I could have sworn I told these guys to break phalanx, so let's try that again. And the enemy AI is getting a little bit worried about how far over my cavalry is moving. And as you can see, at this point, our line's getting relatively close to theirs, and our cavalry have fanned out pretty hilariously far around this edge. And right now, I'm mostly just waiting to be in a position where I can justify putting the phalanx down, which I think I finally am. And I'm going to have them just officially form a new line as close to the enemy as they can, but really just on their current positions so they all get into formation. Now I'm going to have all of these just charge the chariot. I'm going to have this unit just run in this direction above them, so they don't have anywhere to retreat to. I'm probably going to have to pull this unit back due to getting intercepted by the spear warband, but that's fine. Yeah, this one's definitely not going to make it in. This unit's only job is to make sure that they can't retreat effectively. She seems to be doing relatively poorly. Yeah, it looks like they retreated no problems whatsoever. Actually, no, they've just thrown their lives away. That went really well for us. I'm gonna have my phalanxes just move straight forward as far as they can. Have all of this cavalry back off. Actually, that's not true. I'm gonna have one unit of cavalry stay on the chariots to make sure they don't recover their morale. And as those cavalry are actually just running towards my line, I can't keep chasing them, because I'd have to chase them through the warband line to actually get anything done. Gonna just have this keep moving all the way forward. Since they're fleeing through my chariots, since they're fleeing their chariots through my phalanxes, yeah, that went pretty fucking poorly for them, didn't it? Oh, this all needs to keep going back. Dear God. Did they get caught, or no, they're just barely fine. Actually, I'm going to move all of this to the left, and all of this just to the right, as opposed to moving further away. I'm going to have these warbands keep moving forward. I'm going to have this one break phalanx and just start repositioning. I'm going to see if I can just charge their general at this point. And this unit as well, since it's just clearly moving the wrong way to be safe. And I can't, but it's fine. Apparently one of my units routed? It's the one that's been taking hits from the archers. I suppose that makes sense. This unit routed the second it even touched the chariots, which is very weird. And I want these to drop phalanx and just move into the fight. Oh, all of their units are apparently just complete trash, too. So what I'm going to do is have everything that's not a horse charge this unit. Have some of my horses charge as well to see if I can pin them. I'm going to start hunting down all of their fleeing units with these cavalry that don't need to be used. And yeah, that's double speed time. Continue, and let's figure out the most optimal way to kill everyone on the battlefield. So we end up wiping out their whole stack of 1,600, and we only lose a little over 150 of our old men. It's not perfect, but it did go pretty fucking well. And now what I do with this army is actually a bit weird, because it really doesn't feel like it's needed in the west or the south, but it's clearly going to one of those places. Like, I'm not going to send it all the way east. For a first step, though, I will just have the army unite, have it walk all the way down to this crossing, I think. Ah, damn it. I thought you could go around this, but the force is actually too thick. So I've wasted a bit of movement there. But once I get to this crossing, I will actually make a decision about whether I should go east to Rome, east to Dacia, or west into Gaul and Spain. And from that battle, I got a Sword Bearer, which I think is experience. Yeah, +1 to Devour the Bodyguard, and Confident Commander, +1 command. Now we need to actually siege this last Britannian town that is on the mainland, which should be a pretty straightforward and easy siege. So we're doing the same thing we do every siege, which is just moving all of our units up while we knock down the walls. Skirmishers keep any defenders from getting too antsy. The one exception is I've made sure that this unit stays off of fire at will, because I want him to have ammunition to get right here and lure them out of the square at the end of this fight. Yeah, so I don't know about this. I was just moving my spearmen into place, and they decided that they'd had enough of actually having this general unit, so they decided to charge him into my phalanxes. It went sort of predictably. Hopefully they'll keep making that decision, because that's wonderful for me if they want to do it again. And honestly, this unit is, or this enemy army rather, is so weak to the main unit of Spear Warband that I don't know I need anything else. Yeah, I'm just going to keep moving these units up and see if I can get them to charge me again, and they are willing to do that against all odds. I don't know why they're willing to do this. It looks, honestly, surprisingly effective considering how fucking terrible the strategy is, which is to say they've killed literally anyone and not literally nobody instead. Yeah, I'm just gonna walk all the way up to them and they're gonna start fighting me eventually. I can do this slightly more efficiently, though, by pulling one unit of spearmen around the side to eventually flank them from inside the square. This is why I always use arrow keys and not what I just did. Oh, wow. Apparently when he repositioned himself like that, he also completely broke his formation, according to the arrows at least. So with all of these selected, I don't trust this man. This phalanx is going rogue. Please stop. Please just stand where I've told you to. There are easier way to... Okay, no. I am going to just have this phalanx leave the battle. I'm done with him. Everyone else move left. Fuck that guy. That guy was out of line. And then we move everyone forward. The fight joins. They're going to lose quite badly, but we can also move this phalanx into their rear, which will help us do this much more efficiently. I don't know if I can actually arrow key across this because, you know, pathfinding. Looks like the answer was no. So I'm going to run them into position without phalanx formation and just by drawing the formation instead. It's not looking like it's any better, though, is it? Yeah, there's no real way to get closer than this, so I guess I'm just going to triple speed and let this play out. Oh, hey, some of them get distracted and run the other way, so this does contribute. I'm surprised it does anything at all. And also, the pathfinding on the left side of this area does just seem genuinely very broken. Like, even worse than most of the game. But yeah, I was expecting to use more than just my warbands here, but since their general just decided to throw himself away, I don't need to. Yeah, so we killed 600 garrison and only lost 50 of our own men. Pretty nice. I wish I could see what was in this city before I made a decision. I'm actually going to occupy this. I think it will be worthwhile in the long run. Yeah, because I can actually recruit units here, which will be meaningful to helping deal with Britannia, since I'm about to walk this army away. And also, as I suspected, I am able to retrain my Spear Warband here. And I'll recruit a second one and have everyone else leave the city. Let me quickly check they'll actually be okay with this. Yeah, they're completely fine with what I've done. In fact, they're basically happy to be owned by my empire, it seems like. But they will be needing new gods. Those gods are ridiculous. And I'm actually going to make a shrine to Donar and see if I can eventually someday make barbarians here. Or berserkers, rather. Britannia and Gaul both seem to just have a half stack each sitting right here. I really don't want to fight that. Can I recruit a diplomat and tell them just fuck off? Which I do think I want to do. Despite the fact that I usually hate diplomats, just so I can get peace with Britannia. I feel like it has to be correct for me to go to war here. So something really funny is I kept thinking this was a half stack for Britannia and Gaul, but if you actually come in, you're going to see the shadow on this is actually glitched out. This is only two guys. They're both family members. So let's go fight this. And yeah, he pulls in the Gauls as reinforcements. Now the question is, do I actually want to fight this right now with the Gauls as reinforcements, or at a later point in time? Because that was pretty much all this unit's movement anyway, so it's not that wasteful. And this unit has, what you could politely call shit cavalry. It has 1/2 unit of barbarian mercenaries, so trying to hunt down these chariots before the fight even starts, doesn't sound super easy, and I don't have crazy abilities to do things with cavalry against this infantry army. So what I'll do is I'll actually just end my turn here. If they want to come at me and give me defender's advantage, then I'll accept that. Otherwise, I'll hunt them down individually next turn. Okay, so after going through all my cities, I've decided that I actually am going to make infrastructure, because basically none of them have land clearance, which is, you know, just very good. It helps you with harvest and enough to pay for itself in only 10 turns. It helps you with population growth, which I desperately need. And I know there are no mercs around to be hired right now, so it's worth building the land clearance everywhere. Especially when I'm making $3,500 a turn. It seems like I can easily afford to get some infrastructure started, as I really don't have a way to spend it right now. The cities that would be recruiting units are sort of out of population to do so. Actually, I will have this go to Trier instead, where it can be retrained, and also pick up the army waiting for it there. But I believe that's it for this turn, so let's see what happens in the interim. Oh, I forgot that I have a diplomat going here for some reason. Maybe to get a ceasefire with Dacia before they conquer land from me. Oh no, it's happening again. I think we'll do better this time than last time. The reinforcement army is 2 family members, 2 Hastati, and 2 Velites, which is not a bad army, honestly. I was expecting to see some town watch in there. Meanwhile, this army, though, has 3 chevrons on everything. It has 2 family members as well, one of them the faction leader. This is just a variety charcuterie board of Roman units. They got everything. This Triario is basically never going to rout, and it counters my cavalry, but I have a lot of cavalry. So I think I can win this by just brute forcing with cavalry. Especially since they're coming into me, and I still have 3 units of phalanx. Not as many as I would like for how full this stack is, but plenty. And also, dear God, look at those command stars. They don't even fit on the full zoom in. We do not have bad infantry, though. We have axe warbands on the wings. We have skirmishers behind our phalanx line. We have some crazy cavalry superiority, so let's see what this looks like at the start. On one wing, we're going to have our generals that actually start moving around. On the other wing, we're going to have our barbarian calves start moving around. I'm going to assume that I can just handle the Senate before these Romans actually get here. That seems correct to me. Some of my units just weren't interested in following that movement command. This is a thing I noticed pretty consistently, is just at the start of the fight, sometimes units don't want to obey commands. Yeah, it looks like I'm not going to have to worry too much about this general on account of him throwing his goddamn life away. These Triarii, these are at Stati. I can charge in. Those are Velites, so I can do the same. And I really want these phalanxes down. I do not want their spears pointed into the sky right now. Do they have enough command stars and enough chevrons that her Stati actually aren't going to break? Okay, we're at least getting a rout on one of those generals. And these Hastati are just actually not breaking. It's kind of impressive. Neither are these Velites, goddamn. There's nothing a few more charges won't handle. And over here, we are just slowly slogging it out with our expendable cavalry against their general. This should be chain route. Like, they are Principes, they are good units, but yeah. Okay, so here I need these units repositioned. Fire will all for him to be saving ammo for the next round. This is just like not going well for either side, really. Yeah, my cavalry are finally breaking on this side. This is actually relatively fine for us. I mean, losing our entire light infantry corps, or light cavalry corps to their general was not what we wanted to see. I have no idea why they're still walking forward and not just trying to fight the Triarii.
This is a great day. The arrogant Roman
Okay, so both generals are dead. That army's routed.
now truly fear us.
Now we need everyone repositioning on this side. So pull back immediately. New spear warband location. Skirmishers behind them. Axemen to the left. Axemen to the right. And in terms of our cavalry, what we have left, it's not pretty. This is actually never going to be in the fight again. It's just going to be used for hunting down stragglers at the end. God, just look at this pile of bodies. So many of those are German horses, too. And we should be able to kill this general fairly easily with our insane superior numbers. Like, we literally outnumber him 5-1. Yeah, immediately crushed. These cavalry need to stop doing what they're doing and form up again. Phalanx dropped. This phalanx can start moving around because I believe this is skirmishers, right? Yeah. Actually, my axemen charge these so that they stop being a problem. Have this whole thing draw up here. They think they can just charge my cavalry, which is kind of hilarious. Here, I'm going to send this forward. These axemen are way too far on the side. But yeah, we've very thoroughly hammered and anviled this one out. Oh, those are not my cavalry. I am so used to being the red guys. I have just lost track of what I was doing. Alright, so that's an embarrassing way to fuck up, but it's fine. I want all of my infantry, with the exception of the ones that are actually already over here, to start forming up in this direction to make this Velites back the fuck off. And all of this just needs to kill the general. The fact that he thinks victory is a certainty is baffling and should not be staying around. Now, we've lost a lot of our army here because we are dealing with the Senate again, but I do think that we managed to actually wipe both armies and walk into the city next turn unopposed.
Enemy warlord shows his worth. Nothing. Any of our warriors would die rather than run.
I don't think we're going to be able to actually kill this, unfortunately. Yeah, he's going to get away pretty easily here. There's just like no way for our units to catch him.
Army runs. Now hunt them down.
Actually, is he going to get caught a little bit? No, just turns away and makes it. Would have been nice. It's a shame how many casualties we took, but that's just how it's going to go versus the Senate, it seems like. Oh. So, how bad was that actually? We lost 800 men and killed 1,600, which is a heroic victory based on unit quality alone. Unfortunately, of the 9 men that escaped, or maybe the 90, I don't know which one was which, the Julii did escape with a faction leader, I think, or a family member. So I will have to actually siege the city and fight them next turn. Yeah, that flag is not empty. Oh well. Well, this is going to be a pretty straightforward fight for me. I'm literally just going to put all my peasants in the town square and set it to triple speed, and we're going to see what happens. I'm probably going to lose the city. Hopefully, it will be a Pyrrhic victory for the enemies.
Taken the walls! Throw them back, or our people will be slaughtered!
I've got bad news for that narrator. I'm pretty sure our people are getting slaughtered. At the very least, I'm very sure these barbarian peasants are getting slaughtered. Like, I cannot imagine this being anything other than a hilarious loss. Especially since they're going to fan out and fight relatively fairly. But hopefully, you know, they managed to kill some number of enemies. You know, they managed to kill 3% so far. It's something. God, barbarian peasants are useless. At this point, I did more damage to them by recruiting the population of the peasants than I did by actually fighting them.
Celebrate and think us cowards.
Ooh, if we killed 24 people. God, barbarian peasants are terrible, aren't they? I mean, I'm not surprised, but I am upset about it. I feel like if I had played that battle, I would not have had the ability to get out of there with 30 losses by just walking in with no strategy. Ah, Dacia, you bitch. So that second stack moving in is actually kind of problematic for me. I have no quick way to deal with it. Can this city... No, it can't. So to deal with this stack, I'm going to recruit 2 warbands up in Vicus Marcomane. I'm going to send them down, and I just can easily win the fight. Warbands are so much worse than spear warbands. I will accept any husband you have. He is in the center of my empire. And I will start moving him east to join up and fight Dacia. And I accidentally got rid of all my other reports. Hopefully they weren't important. This man will continue towards Trier. Gaul and Britannia thought that they should do nothing that turn, which is kind of funny. And start sending my agent west to talk to at least Britannia. Now, the assault here seems pretty easy to win, But I am worried about just how many losses I might take doing it. I'm gonna be honest, I think I can win this with like 50 casualties at most, but I really don't want to play it, so I'm just gonna quick save and see if I can auto-resolve instead of actually doing this slowly myself. If those 222 don't wipe out units, if I still have 14 units, I'll go ahead and take the result. I still have 14 units, so I just need to retrain everything now. And while I'm doing that, I may as well continue recruiting. So, I've lost a lot of men, but it's actually fine. This army is going to head southeast and actually go to war with the other stack they have. Looking at this army, I'm not sure I can beat that stack, especially with reinforcements. And it can't quite make it to Segestica. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a fort right here and move to Segestica to take it out. And then I'm going to have this one unit of heavily depleted mercenaries go man this fort to make sure that this doesn't start walking into my lands and causing havoc. Oh hey, we have a historical battle again. Side of famous battle again. Is this the same person as last time? The effect for famous battle seems very easy to hide with diplomats. I'm pretty sure it's the same person. It's my faction leader, right? Yeah. So he's had 2 famous battles here against the Julii. It's kind of cool. Oh, and also I'm completely fucking out of money. Just immediately at the start of the turn. So I don't really know where the city is, which is why I had this scout moving forward. I think it's like right here between all the rivers, but I'm honestly not sure. Regardless, I'll find it eventually. Now, unfortunately, I've been reading estimated balance next turn at the start of the turn, instead of actual net turn income. We're only making 1,400 a turn. So I probably can't afford all that infrastructure I built, but it's a bit too late now. Conquering Iridium actually should help with that dramatically, though. Did I enslave an Iridium like a crazy person? I hope I occupied, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. Anyway, I'm going to get into managing the rest of this next time. I'm going to start making shorter videos. So, this has been rather Incoherent. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube jazz. I'll see you around.